getchecked.ca.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
He's the only person to win an arm wrestling contest with the Philly Fanatic. The Lowdown with Lowetide, now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Tarek Skubal's final start for the Detroit Tigers may be on the way right now as the MLB trade deadline less than a week away. Celebrini's big contract, 5 years, $18.8 million. Philadelphia Flyers are costing a lot of money for other franchises and for veteran third liners or third pairings or backup goaltenders, because all the money is going to go to the kids starting now. On the Lowdown, we have a big show for you today. Make sure to text us when you can. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for hot summer savings, including 0% purchase financing on select models. 0%. Details at wolfgmcbuick.com. Very busy show. We're going to be talking Major League Baseball. We'll obviously talk about Celebrini, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and some extra walking around money for Stan Bowman. And he could go out and get himself something. Will it be a skill winger, maybe a center? A lot of people still talking about right defense, but I think that's pretty much taken care of. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the introductions. We welcomed and supported him, but it now appears he's smart and capable. So we have to move straight to sabotage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Connor. Connor, how are you?
Good. I'm doing good today.
Good. You're still wearing the Oilers cap. Is that your look? Are you in need of a haircut?
No, I just don't want anybody to get confused that because I'm from Calgary that I'd be a Flames fan.
All right, because you work with Josh and you don't want to be part of that, win that he has. Because people get angry at him. He's so capable, we're unable to stop him. So now we have to treat him well. It's killing me. Others are adjusting. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
Good afternoon. I was about to say good morning, but that would have been dumb.
Well, I mean, it's that time of day where, you can say good morning and people aren't going to call you on it, right? An hour from now, and we'll be all over you.
No, I'm sorry. I would still call someone on it if they looked at me at like 12:05 and said, hey, good morning. I'd be like, did you know it's actually the afternoon?
As you age, you stop calling people on stuff that doesn't matter.
It does matter. Simple telling of time. Learn how to read analog, baby.
Okay. He brings swagger and attitude and knows exactly what he's worth. And honestly, it's becoming a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
Yeah, it's 94 million paid out over 5 years with a hefty state tax.
Not bad. You got your because you were going to be late and then you weren't, but you got your puffer and
Yeah, forgot my inhaler. I had to go back and get. That's like the one thing,
especially this summer, because it seems like I've got kids who have the same issues, and it seems like it's every day it's a problem.
Yeah, and I take it pretty much every day, and that is like the one thing I'll never. Well, evidently I did actually leave the house without it, but it's the one thing I'll never leave the house. Like I would leave my wedding for that. You know what I mean? So had to go back and get it, but made it on time.
Right.
Looking forward to the show.
In the interest of complete disclosure, I do not have my computer available to me. There's a little plug that I had, and I don't have it now, so I must have left it at home. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But Josh has agreed, and maybe Connor can help, and Declan too, although he does like to play card games while the show is on. If you see something on the text line or some breaking news that I haven't got to, please throw it out. Would you all do that? Would that be something you're capable of doing?
Yes.
All right. You're a good man. All right. So let's start here because I think it's the big story, although I sort of set up the show to talk about Major League Baseball and the trade deadline, and we will talk about that. But the Celebrini contract, there's several angles here. Number one, people are saying, yeah, Connor McDavid's contract is, now even more valuable. Yes, but it was valuable from the start. Celebrini earned the money. He's going to make the money. I think it was Donovan who said he should have taken less. It was kind of selfish. I don't buy that at all because this is a young man who's, not been paid huge money yet, although obviously, he's making NHL entry-level deal money. But we don't know the future. We don't know what's in store for him. And Connor McDavid made a choice to take a value contract, and he may again. But that may well be what Celebrini does later on. I know Celebrini said he would take, less money. But to me, this is a deal that makes sense. It's a deal where San Jose has him for 5 years. They've locked in with him. They can try to win a Stanley. I like the deal. Any thoughts on – so I can't believe I'm saying this, but Celebrini being selfish for taking what the market was willing to give him.
I don't view it that way in the slightest. I think he is a top 5 player in the NHL. And obviously, already. And I think beyond that, I think he is probably, now I personally would still go with Connor McDavid, but I think he's probably the number one guy. Like if you ask 32 GMs who they're starting a franchise with, I think most of them are probably picking him, right?
I agree.
Yeah. Listen, the market always resets itself and dictates itself in this sense. I have no issue whatsoever because we talked about this yesterday on the show. You know what the San Jose Sharks were last year? They were Macklin, Celebrini, and the boys. Yeah. He is deserving. Like Leo Carlson, that was a crazy situation. He's probably not an $18 million player paid over 5 years. Macklin Celebrini is worth every single penny because what he does to that roster, I know they didn't make the playoffs last year, but he elevates not only that team, but everyone on the roster. And it sounds crazy to say when a guy's getting 18.5 sheets, but I think this is actually, with the cap continuing to go up by year 5 of that, like I think that will look like a value contract.
I agree
with
totally.
How good he is.
And also the people understand that the pie is the pie.
Yes.
So the kids are going to get more, and just make a list of all the third liners and fourth liners and backups. Those are the guys who are going to get squeezed, not the Celebrinis, not the McDavids. It's the guys at the other end. And that happens starting now. Philadelphia Flyers, though, if you're another general manager, that offer sheet really did set the tone here. And the Anaheim Ducks that's not a good spot for them to be in. They've got to sign Cutter, and you can walk it 1 year, but it's not a good idea. I still think there's going to be some trade activity. I don't know if the Oilers are going to be involved, but Josh, what are your thoughts about Celebrini's contract?
I like it. I mean, personally, I think he's $1.2 million underpaid. That's a $20 million a year guy, honestly.
KCP money.
Yeah, man. KCP money. I like it a lot. I also disagree with it's selfish because the Sharks have spent money and they're paying $17.5 million a year to Darnell Nurse and Jacob Trouba. It's like, yeah, well, they spent that. It's not his fault that they were already done with money.
Right. And that's a separate issue.
And like I even told you out at the bar, Al, how the negotiations went. It was they knew that they had to extend Macklin Celebrini. There was no world where they weren't extending Macklin Celebrini. And that conversation went, Macklin Celebrini saying, yeah, guys, I want $18.8 million a year. And the San Jose Sharks said, yes, sir, Macklin Celebrini, sir, anything you say.
Yeah, exactly right.
My other thing is, like, I hate this narrative when, like, oh, these stars need to take less pay. Like, do you know how big the gap is between Macklin Celebrini and some guy making the difference between 1.4 or 2.2? Like, you know where I want that extra 800K going, or 1.5 million or 2, whatever it is? I want it going to my best player. I want to keep him happy. Like, this notion that these best players need to take cuts to build a roster, it's true and valid in some senses, but I want my best player getting the money. I don't want someone who I have to worry about showing up night in or night out getting that extra money. I want it to go to my best players every day of the week.
Yeah, and that's why at the draft you always draft skill, because you can pick up a checking center for 1.7 million in free agency, and next year it'll be 1.3, and so you always draft skill, always. And for Calgary Flames fans out there, the only way to get truly elite talent is you have to fail. You can't finish with the 12th overall pick every year. It doesn't do you a damn bit of good.
Hey, they failed spectacularly last year. They were bottom 3 in the league.
Did you hear? I heard a voice, but it's gone. All right. In baseball, John Morosi reporting that the Phillies scouted Tariq Skubal last week, and apparently the Dodgers are more interested now because Shohei may not be able to pitch, or at least won't be counted on to pitch because of his various issues. If Skubal goes to Los Angeles Dodgers, the major leagues, I think, has a real PR problem because people may start losing interest. Do you agree or disagree on that?
Can I jump in on this because you're the bigger baseball guy than me, as someone who's a little bit more casual than you guys? I agree totally, and I also think that would be the move that implements a legitimate salary cap. But I say that not as a learned baseball fan as you.
No, but I think that's a good take, and learned is sometimes overrated because we all get biased as we supposedly learn more. But I think that's a great point. I'd be interested. For me, the ideal place for Skubal is Milwaukee because they're a small market team. It would be a rental, but they're good, man. If they start any playoff series with Skubal and Mizorowski, I like their chances no matter what happens. That's dynamite 1-2. That's one of the best 1-2 rotations that we've seen in the game's history. By the way, Shane Goldman, brilliant follow from The Athletic, says Celebrini's market value over the 5 years of this contract projected to be 20.6. So he's a bargain now, and that will be probably increasing as time goes on, as long as the salary cap goes up. How are we feeling about the Toronto Blue Jays right now? They're about to make some trades, I believe. I'll say 4. Somebody from the bullpen, Gosman, Varsho, and your elderly outfield DH will also go. Guerrero's hurt, by the way. He's not in the lineup today. I believe that's correct.
That is correct. Kaz is playing first. Ernie's at third.
Yeah. So they're like, I mean, this is as done as you'll ever be. And you might as well start making trades now. My question for you is I think the Jays need pitching, but they also need a lefty bat. Now, you can get some of that in free agency, and you could also trade for it. But if you're trading Gosman and Varsho, maybe you're trading somebody from the bullpen too. Would you trade Bieber?
Right. I mean, I think you could. Or maybe you should. Like, you don't know if you're going to get him back next year because he is just on the 1 year, or because he took his player option, right?
Yeah.
But the question, like, it's not even really a question anymore. He pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday and walked 6 guys and gave up 4 runs, I think, or something brutal. So that really tanked his value, like that big time tanked his value. That is a really, really bad inning. So I think you can get rid of him. If they were going bullpen, they're probably getting rid of Fluharty.
What about Varland? And the reason I ask is apparently Mason Miller's price is so high in San Diego. If somebody came calling for Varland, would you make that move?
Yeah, if the price was right, like I think you'd sort of hope as a Jays fan that if you traded Louis Varland away, that it was they overpaid. Someone overpaid a little bit. It was like Yeah, well, we're not willing to get rid of a lot of stuff, all this stuff for Mason Miller, but I'd be willing to get rid of 2 pieces for Louis Varland, who's the second best closer in the league this year, bar none.
No.
I could also see Hoffman going because he's been really good as not the closer. There must have just been a mental block there.
I think Hoffman lost his confidence, and that happens all the time in baseball. You go look at Joe or Phil Niekro, and they pitched for like 63 teams over the years, and they'd win 20, they'd win 17, they'd win 11, they'd win 4, get released, sign with somebody else, and then build back up again. I know that I do an analytics-based show, and we talk about analytics all the time, but confidence is real, and I think he lost confidence. I think he's gotten it back. He's been better lately, right?
Hoffman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been really good. His ERA has come down. And so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So I could see him getting moved just for like a piece, whatever. I just still don't know about Gausman. He just loves being a Blue Jay so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's expressed a little bit disappointment about that too, right? Like that they're going in a different direction. We're gonna take a break, but I'm on my phone today. So my phone isn't like when I have my computer, it's all sports all the time. But on my phone, I get headlines like this is the New York Post. Katy Perry gets trapped inside inflatable bottle during stunt gone wrong at the Isle of MTV Malta.
Why is that a headline you're getting?
Well, because I am interested in more things than just sports on my phone.
Because you're a Trudeau apologist.
I never even thought about Trudeau. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, sure you didn't, buddy.
Oh, man. But I find that interesting, and I don't know the story, and I don't have time to read about it. So I guess that will be some reading later on in the day. Now, is there anything we've missed? Basketball, NFL football, CFL, obviously, this weekend the Elks are playing. Any injury news on that?
Yes, actually. You know what? Oh, I wish I had it in front of me. I'm going to pull up the injury report right now.
Yeah, you got time. Don't worry.
From yesterday. Nick Anderson, limited in practice. Carter O'Donnell did not practice, but that was non-football related. Him and his wife just had a baby. Congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
Jacob Plamondon, he did not practice as well. And then Tyron Vred, who is a special teamer, he was limited in practice. So if Nick Anderson can go and Carter O'Donnell should be back, you're looking at a full strength, mostly a full strength Elks team. Obviously, minor Coulter Woodmansey, David Beard against this Saskatchewan team, which is huge for them.
Right. Also from the New York Post, Kelsey Grammer admits it's exhausting when movies try to alter history to fit modern tastes. So
he's talking about the Odyssey. Kelsey Grammer, screw off.
No, but Elon Musk is going to redo it. Factually correct.
Yeah, but no, historically accurate, and that's just because he was upset that all the people weren't white.
Oh, that seems correct, but but I think I congratulate him. He's going to spend a lot of money on that, I'm sure.
And I think he'll dry up a whole river and poison a town's water supply to do it.
Oh, no. Is this about the AI?
Yeah,
domes?
this is about the data centers.
You just, that kind of trashy talk, sir,
is once again correct.
It is. It is. You're right. All right. That's either a mosquito or Declan just got mad.
He's just a mad little guy. He gets a little upset sometimes.
He attacked me on Katy Perry. Did you hear that? I didn't once take the Lord's name in vain or anything like that. Okay. On the way, we have a very busy show, and I'm delighted that Kevin McCurdy will join us at 1 o'clock today. We're going to talk to him about prospects in the minors and how much important every fan base, I don't care who you are, we all think whatever team you're a fan of, you think your prospects are better than they actually are. If somebody, I've looked at this 100 ways, if your favorite player is starting his second season in the AHL, he's not what you thought he was. That's just a fact. It doesn't work. And if like Andrew Cogliano, he came right to the National Hockey League. And the moment he came right to the National Hockey League, it was guaranteed he was going to play more NHL games than somebody who floundered a little bit, even a year in the AHL. That timeline, when you are unable to, your bell curve at 20 or 21 doesn't put you in the NHL, you're never going to reach the highest heights. You're just not. And so we're going to talk to Kevin about, guys who we think are good, Hudson and others. But how good are they? And how many games do we expect them to play this year and in the years to come? All right, that's on the way. What's coming up on Declinations at 1:40 today?
I think we're officially going to make the transition today to Declan CAA.
Right on.
Start to talk a little college football.
Well, I don't have them with me, but I do have some quarterback questions for you. Also, in our next segment, I'm going to ask you, I would like from both of you, unless Connor is also an NFL fan. Are you an NFL fan? Okay. I want the top 5 quarterbacks from each of you. Don't cheat. If you could do that for our rumor section. Are you okay with that? Could you do that in the next 5 minutes?
We certainly can. Well, I'll speak for myself.
All right.
I'll speak for Connor. Yeah, we can.
All right, there we go.
Sound good. All right. I appreciate that. 12:18, Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small ice.
And a shot by Toffoli wouldn't go. Celebrini keeps it alive. Macklin, what a move there against Vogel. Into the middle. He scores! What a goal by Macklin Celebrini. And in the air to center field for Bogarts. Kara getting ready, will make the catch. Here comes Jackson Merrill. Here comes the throw. Padres win. They're walking off. Sack fly to get it done for Bogey. In the air to center. Mets on Sunday. That's driven in the air to deep center field, and that is a glorious bomb from Shohei Ohtani. I think the day off did him well. 23rd for Ohtani, and the Dodgers strike first. Mets on.
He knows all about the Expos and Oilers. It's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. I read somewhere where the expectation is no rain today. Last night, there were reports, and we were ready for. I brought in the garbage cans because they have been rolling down the streets at times this year. So I brought them in. I was all ready for a big storm. It lasted approximately 3 minutes, but you never know. And this is a year of, I'm going to say, violent storms in Alberta like I haven't seen in like a long time. So hopefully today will be the one day that, did you guys get hit badly? Were you okay where you were?
Yeah, I was fine. I was actually very shocked because I woke up, I had a little snooze, and I woke up to a thunderclap that sounded like a starting gun, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Right.
And so I closed all the windows. My devices and everything were charged, very prepared, like I was told to be.
Candles. You know,
I don't have any candles.
Sand.
I was just gonna rock with
sleeping bags,
yeah. Well,
corn.
sure. So anyways, I was fine, closed all the windows, could see the rain coming down and the wind, and I was like, all right, in for a big one here. And I looked harder out the window. I went, is that like blue sky? And about 5 minutes after I'd heard this, after like the wind had started and the rain started coming down, it was over. And I was like, really? Went outside, took a look around. Like the street was pretty beat up, but I was like, man, it's over. That's crazy. All right, then.
Pretty wild stuff for sure. By the way, you are my person in charge of the text line. If there's something interesting text-wise, you let me know, okay, there, young man.
Okay.
It is time for Rumors, brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton. It's riding season. Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has their next bike waiting. Huge selection of new and pre-owned, plus test rides available, locally owned and operated since 1980 on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com. They're good people over there. All right. I'm going to tweet this out. Sid Cicero had a take on, they asked Connor McDavid about Gavin McKenna playing in Toronto, and McDavid said all the things you would expect a professional to say about another, a young player, very supportive. He said he's going to have his hands full in Toronto, and it was, I thought, look, Connor McDavid is a very thoughtful person, and he measures his words, he parses them. So there's nothing here. It's a nothing burger. But Cicero went off, and I know that we work in an industry where you want clicks and you want people and eyeballs and all of that sort of thing. But I do think that you have to be a little bit credible, and I always hope that we have advanced past the days of Dick Beddoes when he would get on with Barbara Frum and Peter Zosky and talk about Wayne Gretzky not being worth the money he was being paid. Here's something that's factual. The money that athletes make is what the market dictates. That's it. It's really our business because we get to know the numbers and we can talk about it. And it's the same with the media commenting on something like McDavid's comments on McKenna. The idea that Cicero thinks that Edmonton doesn't have an intense fan base that scrutinize everything is truly naive. And so I just have to say once again that I like, we have had Steve Simmons on, and he often gets ripped for things that he says, but Simmons at least attempts to be on the right side of credible. And I just think that at times Mr. Cicero goes a bridge too far, and this would be one of them.
I watched
He's like a
this.
Skip Bayless who didn't make it.
Yeah. And I watched this clip. You said, did you see it? I said no. So I went out and found it. Just basically out of touch. It's Toronto thinking they're the center of the world again. They're constantly at a 6 or 7. Like, brother, I'm sorry, but I was working here in October. I know exactly what was going on, and it was not a 6 or a 7. You think Toronto's the only market that gets to 11?
Yeah, it's first of all, it bugs Toronto that Montreal is actually the class of the league in terms of, certainly in terms of Canadian teams, the way they present themselves, the way they go about their business. Edmonton, it's not Edmonton's fault. It's not Oilers fans' fault. The greatest young Ontarians of the last 40 years somehow end up in Edmonton, from Gretzky to Coffey to McDavid, on down the line, Bouchard. The Leafs should draft more kids from Ontario. They really should. But the Oilers have been lucky in that way. But this all comes, I think, from an absolutely unhealed wound regarding Connor McDavid and not winning the draft lottery in 2015. And even winning the draft lottery in 2016 and getting Austin Matthews has not been able to calm the waters of Toronto media and the Toronto fan base. And I just want to push back, because the amount of venom and anger in Edmonton that comes when Darnell Nurse signs a big contract, or when they don't win against Anaheim in an opening series, is absolutely flatlining. It's up against the wall all the time. So Toronto always does this because it's the biggest city in Canada and it's the media center. But that doesn't mean it's true. And it certainly doesn't mean that we have to sit here and endure that kind of crap without calling it out. I think it was a bogus take, and I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed. Any other comments?
No, I'm with you. The venom and everything is weird. And then another thing he said in it was like, well, Toronto's still mean to their stars.
No, they're not. They
like,
crown them king
when they're good. Even.
Yeah, I
and
don't
was
know. Like they are tough on their guys when they don't show up.
Yeah, and I'm like, that is not an exclusively Toronto thing.
No, but I do think it's the toughest NHL market in that sense.
They crowned Marner and then they skewered him.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say also is, they should draft more guys from Ontario. The last time they drafted a hometown kid, they scrutinized him so bad he left town.
Boy,
and
went to
the Stanley Cup Finals last year and almost won.
Dude, yeah, like a kid from Ontario decided he would rather play hockey in a desert than his hometown team. Like, do you know how bad you have to mess that up if you're the Leafs?
Yeah, the
or Leafs media.
That's
specifically.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Who he's referring to is Leafs media is really tough on everybody. Like, you wouldn't understand. It's like apparently Connor McDavid does understand.
I just think dumping on Connor McDavid for some people in Toronto media is easy clicks. And look, he is careful, like beyond careful. Parses his words, makes sure that he says exactly what he means. Very measured, and I know it'll happen again, and I understand why, but I still think it's okay to say that's just missing the point by a whole lot. And in this case, I think that was true. Anything in regard to the National Football League or NBA that we should be talking about, gentlemen?
I think the NBA is pretty wrapped up. I think once LeBron made his decision, it was just like, I think we're good here.
Well, we waited for Draymond's decision, and now it's all officially over.
The exact same money, yeah. I just want to say, man, the motion LeBron James has, like, we'll never see anything like that. Maybe Wemby. So maybe I take it back already. But he's just what he's been able to do for 23 years to stay in the spotlight and be the main story is incredible. Like, as good as Jordan was, Jordan didn't do that. You guys I don't think Barry Bonds did that. Tom Brady, even though he was winning, I don't think did it the way LeBron is. Like, his ability to be the story for a quarter of a century is just incredible.
It is, and you're right to put it that way. When he sneezes, the league catches cold, and he is on a different level. There's no doubt about that.
Go
ahead.
Sorry, I think the only comparable is Tiger Woods. And
that's actually a good point. And certainly when in his heyday,
in his prime, he brought a lot of people to golf and a lot of people watched. And I don't know, we haven't seen LeBron retire yet, but when Tiger Woods isn't involved in these big tournaments, maybe it's coming back around. But for a long time, it was, if Tiger's not playing, I don't really know if I want to watch.
That was very true. And actually for years after he wasn't as good anymore, his peak, he was off of that. They would still, like at majors, there'd be, the camera following Tiger, even though he wasn't competitive, and which drove me nuts. But that's the kind of appeal he had. And on the back nine at majors, when he was in his heyday, if there was a guy who was, close to Tiger, it was awful watching that guy melt. And it happened all the time.
I forget what it is, but it was like stroke differential or something in majors between 2000 and 2005, maybe at a certain course. And Tiger was at minus 15. And the closest to him was second when Phil Mickelson, who was like plus 115 or something like that. It was like, oh, all right, Tiger is just that much better.
Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff. And in the NFL, we're getting dribs and drabs of reports, but it's really early days, right? 10 fingers and toes and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, this guy is hurt, like Christian Kirk.
Is your mic on?
It is, and it's faded like where it's always been. But yes, you are not coming through very clearly. Go ahead and talk for me, Josh.
Okay, so Christian Kirk, he's injured
No, we got a problem with the mic. It's not registering. We're gonna shut that down for a second.
I've always felt that he was either Dracul or some kind of demon, and this is the kind of thing that does happen to those folks.
Could you hear that in your ear?
I did.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was the beginning of a song.
No, it's just very rhythmic talent
Is
from,
she really
from
going
Declan
out
Krueger.
with him?
Wait. What song is that?
Leader of the Pack?
That's not what I was thinking of. I think we reset the mic though. But yeah, you were dead for a second there.
How unique.
Okay, go ahead. You've forgotten what you were going to say.
Oh, Christian Kirk got injured. 49ers, nothing new there. You know, just the story of the day. Shamar Stewart out. It's basically like who got hurt in practice, and that's it. There's nothing. There's either someone's extended or someone's getting hurt. There is no other like good news that comes out of camps.
The one that I always hate, and I really do. I don't remember his name, which is like bad by me, but I don't. There was a Minnesota Vikings, I believe. There was a kid. It was like 110, and they were doing 2-a-days, and I think he passed away. Like the intensity of the football at the beginning, where they're not like ready, and they're 340-pound guys running around. It's some of these stories are like. There's two things I hate about that. Number one, the intensity of these practices when it's really, really hot. They should figure that out, and maybe they have. And then the other thing is when, college football players can't afford to eat and nobody can feed them because it's giving money away. It's changed now, right? Like the linemen at these Syracuse University, they can eat without worrying about, ruining their eligibility.
Definitely. Syracuse is a really funny example. Just because I'm thinking about their head coach and Framber, like he wouldn't let them eat. But yes, like overall, I'm not going to get too specific with it. Your point is correct. You look at some of this NIL money, like my goodness, tens of millions of dollars per year.
Yeah. Well, it's better than giving the head coach $40 trillion and the offensive lineman who's from a small town and didn't make a lot of money and doesn't have a wealthy family can't afford to eat. God, I tell you what, that still makes me mad.
I think Ed Orgeron is still getting paid like $12 million a year, something like that by LSU.
He's back on the staff.
Oh, is he really?
He is. Yeah, Lane Kiffin brought him back.
So also the Minnesota Vikings player that passed away, it was Corey Stringer in 2001.
That was just a shame. Like, what in hell are you doing? It might be an idea to go, is this humanly possible for this fellow to run around and be 360 and we're early in training camp and it's 112 degrees? That somebody has to give their head a shake and use their brain on this stuff. And I know that's an extreme example, but it still bugs me. I remember stuff like that, slights against me, like Josh.
Sure.
Things like that. They tend to linger and hang around.
I try to slight you a lot.
Okay. Well, it's always good to have a goal. So you had mentioned in Declinations today that you're changing it over to Declan CAA.
I am.
And so I just want to tease it a little bit because we got a little time here. Are we, because Bob sometimes listens, is Alabama going to be good this year or no? That's the big question.
I think I'd have them outside of my top 10 to start the year.
Well,
they have, what's funny? You know what their quarterback's name is this season?
No.
First year starting, it's Austin Mack. Same name as Alex wide receiver.
That's wild.
I think they're going to start outside of the top 10. They do have a tough schedule. I also just think they're always going to be Alabama to a degree, but we need to shift the mindset now around what that program is without Nick Saban and maybe even more specifically in the NIL era.
Right. The Ohio State still right up there.
Yeah, they're good, man. They're going to be good for a long time. You're going to be really happy with what I have to say about Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's going good.
I like Notre Dame a lot. And there are amended rules this year that if they're in the top 12, regardless of how the auto bids work out, they are going to also get an auto bid. So it's the rich get richer if you're Notre Dame.
This is a Catholic rule, and it's wrong. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but this is because the Catholics will watch Notre Dame. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I can't go to bat for Notre Dame. They're just too pompous.
Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. They're like Saskatchewan Roughrider fans.
Well,
they travel well.
This is what like Notre Dame, they don't do near the numbers they used to. Like Notre Dame fans still like to pretend they do, but when you look at the top drawing teams, like Notre Dame doesn't even really fall in the top 10 anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they really hold on to yesterday and yesteryear and who they were, and they're just not that anymore, but they still feel like that, which is why everyone has such a problem with them.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's ugly because it's not fair, and that's where not fair should be the name of the NCAA. That should be their motto. NCAA football, not fair, and that's another example. Drives me nuts. How about the what are we now like? When I was young, there was a Pac-10, and before I was young, it was Pac-8. And then it went to Pac-12, I believe. And then it's down to like Pac-1.5. Where is it now?
Pac-2, Washington State and Oregon State. Only teams there. They actually played 2 games against each other last year because just for scheduling.
It's just so dumb.
No, it's stupid. The college football is better when it was a Power 5 instead of a Power 4.
Thank you so much. And I think the West gets lost, right? I used to stay up and watch Nelly, Keith Jackson. He'd do USC, UCLA, Washington. You know, those were good games. And then in the Wisconsin or whoever, Michigan would come over for the Rose Bowl. I miss those days.
Oh, the Rose Bowl when it was the Big Ten champion versus the Pac-12. Oh, it couldn't. It was.
I know
at the stadium in Pasadena. Like, it didn't get better.
Yeah, I know I'm an old man talking, but I really do miss that. All right, it's at 12:39. On the way, we're going to put Josh to work. He's going to have some of your comments. You can read them out loud, and then we are going to talk about it, and probably about you if you've texted in. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Rough Riders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with the dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All Star Construction on Indeed.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Turn up the volume for a night of rock classics with Jersey Boulevard, the tribute to Bon Jovi and Journey, live November 7th at Pure Casino Yellowhead's Pearl Showroom. Feel the energy of legendary hits like Living on a Prayer and Don't Stop Believing. Performed with powerhouse vocals and authentic stage presence. Tickets from just $32.50. Get yours now at Ticketmaster. Don't miss Jersey Boulevard, the tribute to Bon Jovi and Journey, November 7th at Pure Casino. Pure entertainment, pure action, and pure imagination.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. I was reading. Sometimes I do that. Drives Declan crazy. I call it the JMO pause, but really it's just that I'm reading. All right, Josh, we're going to put you to work.
Sure.
I'm sure people. I try to include the YouTube comments, but I never. I fall down on that. I'm a bad man.
It's all right. It happens. There's nobody talking right now in there, anyways. First one coming in from Stretch LT. Just driving by Maidstone. Am I missing anything?
Oh, well, I mean, I had a great time in Maidstone. Terry Cole and Oscar and I, we had great summers. I was just telling Karen about that. We'd ride our bikes. We'd go down to the pool hall and see Keith Milner. And, we'd try to get him to give us a Coke, and he never would. We'd play pool against the veterans who came back from the war and win money to buy Cokes. It's awful. Not proud of it. And then we would try to get into the Legion. So it depends. What kind of fun are you looking for? Because I could, I remember the streets, and I remember where the post office is. If you want to visit with people, the post office around 10 o'clock is the place to go. There were two cafes, Moss Cafe and the Star Cafe. The Lung family owned the Star Cafe. I was really good friends with their son. He was a really nice guy. Ma was great. If you had a hangover, you could go to Ma's Cafe and you get a burger and fries with gravy, and the fries were moving. A little grease there, but they were so good. So that's my Maidstone. The prices on the gas are expensive, and the co-op is be careful, because they're watching. If you break any of the china, you might have to pay for it. Not saying it happened to me, but just one of those things. Is there anything else you want to know about Maidstone?
Not according to Stretch. Okay. I think I'm good. I've got my Maidstone fill.
I also have North Battleford information if you'd like.
That's okay.
All right.
I'll take that one.
This is from Dub. Leafs media and fans often think too highly of players who have some level of success and then get moved to another team, or they send a big ticket contract, and everyone realizes they're good, but not as good as they were portrayed. Examples: Felix Potvin, Gilmore, Matthews, Morgan Riley, etc.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just such a giant. The sun shines on Toronto, and when they lose, people get mad at them. They've had great players. They've been very close. Cliff Fletcher went there and got them close. I think Austin Matthews is a great player. I think Mitch Marner is a great player. I think Nylander is a great player. They just didn't get it done. It happens. It does. And it may happen here with McDavid and Draisaitl. They may not win a Stanley Cup. It's possible. But what I find not disheartening, because I'm not surprised by it or whatever, but the idea that it's still the genesis of this was when the lottery happened. Was on a Saturday late afternoon. The Oilers get number one. And from that day forward, I remember media people were saying, he looks so disappointed. Connor McDavid, he looks devastated. What? Like, these are people who report on news and things and sports that are like newsworthy. They're like, okay, this is the contract and this is stuff that is important. And they're disappointed. What are we doing? We're on Love Island all of a sudden.
Body language experts.
Exactly. And I just feel like it's okay to call out this kind of behavior by specifically Toronto media. Toronto fans can do whatever they want. Long suffering folks, I get it. I every once in a while when I'm in Toronto, I would turn on the radio and the sports station. There'd be some guy my age, and he'd be almost in tears because Dave Keon and Harold Ballard had a falling out, and Keon wouldn't come back to Toronto. And finally he did, and it was like a big love-in because everybody my age loved Dave Keon. So the fans have actually suffered a lot. It's the comments like that really, to me, are the problem. I love Bruce Arthur. I love reading James Myrtle. There are great columnists out of Toronto. I don't want to, paint everybody with the same brush. That's not fair. But this particular item I thought was out of bounds and just worth calling out. And I think most people in other Canadian NHL cities will agree. And I'm reminded of Jim Rome, who said years ago that he was familiar with, New York versus Boston, Philadelphia versus New York and Pittsburgh, Cleveland versus Cincinnati, Los Angeles versus San Diego, all of the quarrels between Houston and Dallas, but nothing in America could compete with Toronto versus the rest of Canada. And that's true. Part of it is because head offices have always been in Toronto. A lot of the media comes out of Toronto and is biased. I remember years ago when we started the old station, it was Team 1260 at the time. We had one 1 hour show. We started the format 3 weeks later. The stuff that we were supposed to get, it shut down. So we're scrambling. And quite frankly, I had nothing to do with it, but the station was really well run and they got great content, fabulous content. One show out of Toronto, and it was like at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I remember it so well. The Toronto Maple Leafs had signed a backup goalie and two guests the entire hour on the backup goaltender out of Toronto. And that's okay for Toronto, but for the rest of Canada, when you say, you don't know anything about being in Toronto to Connor McDavid and being under pressure to Connor McDavid, I think that's a bridge too far. I think that's not defensible. You can't make that point and back it up. You can say it out loud and you can get the clicks, but it's not something that wears well on you. And that's how I feel.
Are you surprised that the Sharks only locked down Celebrini for 5 years?
Little bit. I think probably part of it is, remember when McDavid signed for 8 years and there was talk it would only be 6. And then the Oilers said, no, we'll pay you. We're going 8. So they did. But then Austin Matthews, who was drafted a year later, he signed a shorter deal. And I think the reason you do that, if you're the player, is you want to put the kind of pressure that McDavid was never able to until now on the organization. Improve. I don't want to waste my whole career not winning a Stanley Cup. I don't want to be the guy. Like, you tell me how to write a story that makes Daryl Cates look good if at the end of the day, thank you, Chris Pronger, for the phrase, Connor McDavid never wins a Stanley Cup. Because that won't be about Connor McDavid not being good enough. It'll be about Daryl Cates not being good enough. And you can't write that story any other way. You cannot. The Edmonton Oilers were not let down by Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid has been let down by the Edmonton Oilers. That's the story. Morning Glory.
It's also just so much better for the player for obvious reasons, like the financial incentives of being able to re-up when the cap gets better. But then I also I look at it almost as a gesture of goodwill from the organization. Like, hey, we're going to, if everything goes well, we're going to pay you even more in another 5 years when
That's
you're like
fair.
26. You know what I mean?
That's very fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Good point. I agree.
Making those good points, Declan.
Declan, you're so smart.
Yay,
Lowetide will
Declan.
win one day.
Well, you know what? Sports 1440 IQ test for the next TikTok.
Brandon would win.
I kind of agree.
Brandon
probably would.
Brandon
Connor
by
might.
far has the highest IQ out of all.
Connor has that kind of,
quiet.
I should talk to Brandon because I've taken an IQ test before. I wonder if he has.
I don't think he cares.
Which is the sign of a high IQ.
Just so everybody knows, the last thing radio stations look for from hosts is a high IQ.
Unless it's Brandon.
Brandon's been crushing it in the morning.
Brandon's kind of good at everything. I'm not gonna lie.
Brandon has to hush his IQ to be on the air.
No, he really. I mean, like
it's impossible for him because he's too smart.
Every time he does bring up like something that is like intellectually smart, when he would do this with Kevin would just rip him for 5 minutes or whatever. Just like, how dare you ask such a stupid question?
Give me an example of what he was asking.
No, honestly, I can't remember.
But it's also just like the way he phrases things and just like the general way he kind of approaches things. Like he approaches it with such an open
I will tell you,
mind.
I will tell you that I've been interviewed by everybody, all the hosts on this radio station, and by many others, because they call me and I answer the phone. I really like his style, his interview style. I'm a little all over the place, but he's like, he gets to the point. We exhaust that subject, and then we go on to the next one. He's very organized in his way, and I like that about him. But enough
Imagine
about
he's
him.
listening right now. Just biggest smile on his face.
He's golfing right now. Also, again, if we were having this conversation, he wouldn't care. Honestly, he would feel more like we were trashing him, even if we were calling him smart.
Yeah, I think that's a certain amount of males we like. Just it's better, it's more comfortable if we're getting dissed by our friends than if somebody runs up and says they love you and hug you. Right?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, like it's like when Norm Macdonald said goodbye to David Letterman. Did you ever see that bit?
No.
Oh, it was very emotional. They were it was Letterman's last week or whatever, and Norm really, like, he cried and he said, "I love you," and it was like everybody was uncomfortable. Man, we tend not to share our feelings well. Would we agree with that?
Yeah.
Unless it's
better now in big 2026, but it's
yeah.
almost like overcorrected. Like it's like tighten up a little bit sometimes, Let's lock it down a little bit.
Well, my dad told me he loved me once a decade, whether I needed it or not. I will say that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. How are we feeling about the Jays right now? I feel like at the end of this game, they could make 2 trades, but they're tied 1-1. The Nationals, God, they're bad defensively. This
They're
team,
really bad.
They have great bats. They don't have any pitching and no defense at all. Just booting the damn ball all over, and it's still 1-1.
Just last inning, Yohendrick Pinongo was up at base, 2 outs, bases loaded. He got thrown out. Run into first. It was a tough beat.
Yeah. Well, Kevin McCurdy on the way in the next hour. And we also have Declinations switching it over today. We're going to be going to Declan CAA. So can you preview what's happening?
Yeah, I want to take a look at some of the teams that exist in tiers of college football right now, like the top tier of teams, that second tier, maybe talk a little quarterbacks if there's time. It'll be very kind of generic. I think anytime I talk college football, especially in the summer, it has to be kind of more as an introductory subject. So I'll present it in that fashion.
Right. We're also going to do it 120. I'm going to ask you, I forgot because I'm lame.
Our top 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, that's all on the way as well, because I'm interested in I wouldn't mind asking about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NCAA draft eligible, but maybe we'll do that another time.
Yeah, your guy isn't there, buddy. Jalen Hurts ain't on that list.
The top 5 draft eligible?
He ain't on any list.
Well, I said top 5 because I didn't want to be embarrassed and have him not be on the top 10.
Listen, let's not give Connor too much credit yet.
All right.
Jalen Hurts might be 4.
Okay, there we go. All right, Kevin McCurdy on the way. We're going to talk about some Bakersfield Condors and what we think Kevin believes about how many we'll see in the coming year. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Elks Nation. For the best green and gold coverage online, visit elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more. Tons of in-depth in-game analysis. That's elksnation.ca. Scores from around the majors right now. The Blue Jays and the Nats currently tied up 1-1 in the top of the 7th. Braves and Mets tied 2-2 at the same timeline. And the Tigers lead the Orioles big 7-1. Up next on the dock, we'll see the Brewers and Giants at 1:45. In the late game tonight in the MLB will be the Mariners and the Dodgers. 2 finals today saw the Marlins over the Phillies 8-6 and the D-backs over the Pirates 3-0. News from around the sporting world is Macklin Celebrini has signed a record-breaking $94 million extension at a record $18.8 million AAV, and the Edmonton Riverhawks will be in action at Kamloops tonight, 7:35 first pitch for that one. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Founded by a former pro motorsports competitor, Evolve Wheels and Tires brings decades of experience in custom wheels, lowering kits, lift kits, and accessories. Visit Evolve Wheels and Tires in West Edmonton, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride, evolve your experience.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fan. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt? Concerned about what the next few weeks or months will bring for your finances? My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. You don't have to navigate this alone. Together, we can review your options and build a personalized plan to reduce your payments and get you out of debt, so you can breathe again. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
He knows all about the Expos and Oilers. It's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in. for hot summer savings, including 0% purchase financing on select models. 0%. Details at wolfgmcbuick.com. Just watching the Jays versus the Nationals, and both teams are – the Washington Nationals have the best bats going. They're just out of sight. Their pitching isn't great, but their fielding is just banana bad. Like, I'm watching two teams that shouldn't be in the majors right now. Honestly. It's a shame because the Nationals have great bats. They should be better. And the Jays did so much good a year ago, and it's all down the drain. They got to rebuild in the wintertime again. It is time for our headliner of the day, brought to you by Faber. Debt holding you back? Let Faber's licensed insolvency trustees help you tackle your debt. Book your free consultation at faber.ca or call 1-877-944-1177. Joined by Kevin McCurdy. How are you?
I'm doing well, Alan. How are you doing this week?
I am well. I'm hoping that. Are you having any rain or leakage problems or anything around your place?
No, my house is a little bit on the high ground. I get to watch the Amazon River go down the hill to my right, but nothing too serious.
I've lived in St. Albert area for 30 years now, and I do not recall the river being that high, anywhere close to that high.
No, it's crazy. I sort of feel for all the people who've had repeat water ingress issues over the past several weeks, and let's just say the anti-seasonal rain that we've had up until now is, I'm glad to have the moisture, but this is kind of extreme.
Yeah, and we need the sun now for the farmers, and they can get the crops off and that. No more hail. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
All right. So, state of the Oilers, pretty much nothing changed since a week ago. I feel like the Celebrini contract that was announced today really does put into perspective not just the Connor McDavid contract, but also the Leon Draisaitl deal.
Yeah, I mean, it would seem that both of those deals, especially Leon's, because I think Leon's from a term point of view, there's a lot more impact longer into his contract. Connor's is obviously a short-term deal, and we're appreciative of his reduced value for that term, but we still are going to have, I think, a fairly significant negotiation come next summer. So I think that it'll work out in the end, but it really does shed some light on just how much value the Oilers are achieving with both of those gents at the moment.
Well, I think McDavid signing short term was a smart thing to do because I think he's very loyal. I have no real doubt that he will sign another contract, but it gives him a little bit of leverage in terms of the direction of the team. And I think we're kind of seeing that with some of the moves that have been made here. I know that McDavid spoke about Darnell Nurse recently and about all of his contributions, but he also talked about, the opportunities this team has now. And I do think that from the point of view of how this organization is looking moving forward, offloading Nurse and not using all of the cap room really was a signature moment.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. And again, I think that we're going to feel the loss of Nurse on ice more than people realize. That said, that contract was never particularly good for the entire time that we had it. And that's specifically a reflection on the value of the contract itself rather than the player underneath of it. I never have blamed Nurse for signing on the dotted line. I certainly wouldn't be one to turn down an overly large contract if it presented itself in front of me. And I don't think many other people would be in a situation where they would appeal for less money on moral grounds. So, I think that the reality is that he was a good player that on a lesser AAV would have been probably a lifetime Oiler, but that just isn't, clearly wasn't in the cards for that to continue given the struggle to meet the expectations of that contract and our championship window, if you will.
It's an interesting period of time for Oilers fans because every player that possibly shakes loose the Oilers, at least in theory, could be in on because they have that cap room. Remember a year ago, they could sign Jack Roslovic because he was willing to sign for, very low amount of money. This year they could wheel in a trade. Should that become possible? There's more options available. I like the idea of keeping the powder dry. Do you think that they would move off of the idea of keeping a lot of this money for the deadline if somebody significant shook loose?
If somebody significant shook loose, yeah. I mean, the point of keeping your powder dry is so that you can set it off when you need to, right? Like if they had the right opportunity and not just an opportunity to find a player that they felt would be a good fit for the organization, and it doesn't matter whether that's a top six forward or a defenseman, even though the defense core is fairly deep at the moment, or a goaltender or whatever. Like if the right opportunity presents itself, the whole point of having some money in the piggy bank is so that you can spend it.
Kevin McCurdy, our guest on Sports 1440 and the Lowdown with Lowetide. I'm looking at this roster now, and there are players like Spencer Stastny, Regula, maybe a forward, depending upon who makes the team from Bakersfield. And the more I think about it, the more I think that as opposed to us talking about Hudson or Marhala or any of those cats, I think that Ike Howard probably makes the team, and I think Josh Szymanski makes the team. But is there room for any other Condor from a year ago?
I don't know that there is. They're already going to have a place where they're going to have to pick their spots, and unless somebody absolutely shakes the tree, I don't know that that's the case. It's funny that you should mention Stastny in particular because just a quick eyeball of the Edmonton Oilers website reveals that there's a player missing from the defensive core of the Edmonton Oilers at the moment. And I don't know if that's an accident or intentional, but maybe there's something developing there. There's obviously the new guys that we've traded or acquired for are there, but Spencer himself is not. So isn't that an interesting coinky dink?
Look at you being Matlock on the websites.
Hey man, I mean, I can't help but notice things that are obvious standouts, right? Like,
well, I think Stastny is a bubble player, and here's the thing I don't know, and maybe you can help me because I know defensemen have, I don't know why I said it that way, have elevated value. They do.
Yes.
But, if they're looking for a forward, say, like if they're looking for a draft pick, third round pick, fourth round pick, I don't know what he's worth.
Something like that, yeah.
But if they're looking for a forward who can make this team for Stastny, like I'd be interested in who that might be, because ideally, I guess what Bowman could do is trade Stastny for a player with talent, but a player could also be sent down without waivers.
Yeah, I mean, that would mean you're targeting somebody who's younger than 26 and or hasn't satisfied the waiver and eligibility requirements, right? Yeah, it's interesting to me. And to me, Stastny is the odd man out of that group because, from a pure depth perception, they've got Ekholm, they've got Wallman, they've got Shakir, they've got Ryan Shea, right? Like they're already going to have more guys than they have roster spots for before you even talk about Spencer's potential contribution to the team, right? So to me, that seems like, the left side has more guys than they know what to do with, and not all of those guys would clear waivers if they tried to put them through waivers. So I think that he's the obvious one out. And, again, I wouldn't read too much of the roster. Ends up in weird states on the Oilers website sometimes, and, players go missing and stuff. But very, very interesting coincidence that he appears to be the only one at face value that's not there.
I want to check down to the Pacific Division now. And because I looked at it at the beginning of the summer, and I really felt like, the Oilers are once again going to be not in any danger of missing the top three. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I feel like Vegas and the Oilers are going to be the class of the group. Vancouver's going to be very low. My questions surround the California teams. So Los Angeles is, I think, still good enough to make the postseason. Anaheim's going to be close. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with their defense, but I suspect they'll also be there. But how do you feel about the San Jose Sharks? I mean, they have the best young player in the game, and soon we may say the best player in the game. And they made some tweaks and they added on defense. How close do you think the Sharks could get to the playoffs, and maybe do you think they could, maybe make the playoffs?
That team is right on the cusp of being ready to go for at least getting into the postseason, right? Like they have a deep forward core. They did some tweaks on defense. Like I don't know if they're going to play Trouba and Nurse on the same pairing or if they're going to play a different pairing, but I can't imagine an uglier duo to have to play against in terms of just getting beat up than playing against Nurse and Trouba at the same time. Maybe some of Nurse's old game will come back as far as being a little bit more rough and tumble, and I don't know, that their defensive core was better than it was last season, and they are going to be a team to watch. I don't know what Anaheim's going to do about its defensive core because they've lost some pieces, or they have pieces that are losing a step. But that team too was also pretty much ready to go, at least last year. The Kings are kind of an interesting place. They keep getting older and they just lost their oldest player. So I don't really know what the strategy is there, but that is a team that is not getting any younger, and that's going to cause them issues in the medium term anyways.
The Ken Holland special is well underway in LA. Back to that, I read somewhere in the last week or so, people talking about, Matthias Ekholm and not being able to count on him, and I certainly agree that injuries are an issue. But can we take a moment and just appreciate how well he's played as an Edmonton Oiler? I mean, he's not 29, but he just has played so exceptionally well for this organization.
Matthias Ekholm is easily the best acquisition this team has made since Zach Hyman, who is easily the best acquisition this team has made since the mid-2000s. I don't think you can, I'm obviously not talking about draft picks,
right?
But in terms of trades or free agency, I think it's pretty easy to make the case that the two standout deals of the 2010s and 20s are Zach Hyman and Matthias Ekholm. One a free agent and one in trade. That is the single best defensive move this team has made, probably arguably since signing Chris Pronger. And I know that is a pretty big swing to take, but I love Ekholm's game. I love it. Everything about that guy's game is solidifying for this team.
He's just a rock, and I love him for that. I do wonder, though, that they may, let's say Shea plays really well, and he and Bouchard get some minutes together, and it clicks. I like the idea of Ekholm and Murphy as a veteran tandem. May never come to pass, but what are your thoughts on maybe running that, splitting up the top pairing, as good as it is, maybe to share the wealth a little bit?
I think the more important aspect here is the workload management, right? Like they need Ekholm to get to the postseason healthy, however they manage to accomplish that. If that means that he has to rest a few games, then so be it. But the injury that Matthias Ekholm was dealing with was significant, right? Like it was a core injury. They're not something, Nurse dealt with one 2 years ago and it dogged him for over a season. It's not stuff that, especially as a 35-year-old, is going to fix itself in 5 minutes. So if they can manage his workload so that his injuries are continuing to heal and or stay healed, then that is an ideal outcome. So if that means he has to play less occasionally or skip a game, then they have the forces to do that. That means that they have to promote Shakir up to the top line, then so be it. That means they have to promote Jake Wallman up to the top pairing, then so be it, although he has his own injury issues. So I think it's just more about taking the season in line to see what happens and making sure that Ekholm, who, as we've both said, is a crucial piece of our blue line to the postseason and as healthy a state as possible, is really important. I don't think he's lost a step if he's healthy, and that's really an incredible statement for a 36, 37-year-old defenseman, right?
Yeah. It's pretty wild stuff. All right, thanks for this. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Sounds good. Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCurdy. We appreciate his time every Wednesday. Goes over what is happening with the Edmonton Oilers, or not. But in this case, I think that we're getting closer. We're surrounding the story as we head to the fall, and there may be an addition, but it probably a forward, and I'm hoping for a right-handed center, but we'll see. Morley Scott tweeted out that word is the Elks are selling 1,700 tickets a day so far this week. Already the biggest crowd of the season, heading towards 30K. That's great news. Saturday night, the Saskatchewan Roughriders in town. Do we call that Saturday night or Saturday afternoon?
Oh, I think Saturday night is fair.
All right. And you went over a little bit of the injuries and what might happen there. But an injury list on Tuesday may change by Friday, right?
Oh, I think, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Okay, on the way, we've got declinations at 1:40. Next, though, we're going to go over the top 5 NFL quarterbacks for the 2026 NFL season. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Roughriders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with the dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
The Bricks 55th Birthday Bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The Birthday Bash ends July 29 at The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, Alberta. You can now get your health number and Canadian citizenship marker on your driver's license and ID card. No more flimsy paper health cards or multiple IDs to juggle. Just one card, that's it. To get yours, bring your Alberta health card, proof of Canadian citizenship, or other eligible documentation to the registry to renew your card. Learn more at alberta.ca/onecard. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus all. T's and C's apply.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out for hot summer savings at wolfgmcbuick.com. As you know, I'm on my phone today. A little different vibe on my phone than my laptop. Sydney Sweeney spotted at the beach with ex-fiancé Jonathan Davino. So keeping you updated on sports and other things that might be of interest to you, depending upon where you are currently. I did want to mention this today, and we were going to do it earlier, and then Lowetide forgot. But I'm interested in the NFL's top 5 quarterbacks, because I'm assuming we're going to talk about somebody from the Bills, somebody from the Rams, but after that, I'm not sure. So who wants to go first among you?
I'll go.
Okay. Is your microphone working?
It looked like we were having the same troubles we were having there for a second. Go ahead and talk, Josh. Yeah, we got nothing. Hold on. We're going to cut it for a second. We're going to do the same reset.
Okay. This is
we did last time.
When you employ demons like Josh, this is what happens.
Ooh, this is not good.
It's not looking good. But you know what? I'll jump in with my top 5 quarterbacks quickly,
All right.
so we can keep this thing rolling. I have a healthy Lamar Jackson number 1.
Interesting.
I do. Yeah, I think
like that.
the playoff. He's got to figure that one out in the playoffs. But you could say that for a lot of quarterbacks outside of like Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Sam Darnold.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm going with Lamar Jackson number 1. At 2, I have Josh Allen, and I do think these two kind of exist in a tier of their own.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think those, as of now, 2026, those are the guys who are right there. At 3, I really like. I would love to put Matthew Stafford in there. He's coming off an MVP season, but he's 38 years old. So I don't know if I can put him that high. Then I look down the rest of the list and I look at, like, if I'm just going strictly based off talent, I'll give it to Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow's a Band-Aid. If I wanted to kind of check down to the next guy there in terms of talent, I'd go to Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert has some pretty significant playoff fall off.
You're hurting Connor.
So like, it's just really tough. I'll wrap it up here with this. I got Lamar 1, Josh Allen 2, like I've mentioned. At 3, I will go with Justin Herbert. At 4, I will go with Joe Burrow. And at 5, I know he didn't have a great season last year and he was hurt as well, but I'll go with Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Now I'm interested because I thought the tier would be like Allen and then down, but you've got 2 at the top, and Jackson is one of them along with Allen.
Yes, I think they exist in their own tier.
Okay. That's interesting and insightful, and I thank you. Do we have...
Oh, I thought we were. We're not, actually.
All right. Well, it's in a way it's disappointing Josh can't talk, but in another way it's Josh can't talk. Oh, wait a minute. He's
good thing there's a lot of other mics in this here studio.
Damn.
Yeah, so my list is different than Declan's. Now, you can call me a homer. My number 1 is Joe Burrow.
There's no way you believe that.
Yeah.
There's no way you think he's the best quarterback.
I think
I think that's a stretch.
Based on what?
Best.
Explain
well, actually,
explain
okay. So in comparison to Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, who respectively are 2 and 3 on this list, Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. And second of all, I think he's the best pure quarterback from a passer standpoint. Now, granted, he can't run, but if he can say healthy Lamar Jackson, then I can also say healthy Joe Burrow. Because let's not forget, going back to that 2024 season, he almost willed the Bengals into the playoffs to the point where the Broncos, had they lost, he would have been in.
Okay, but he didn't, and he also started a lot of games for a team that didn't make the playoffs. And like, my thing is,
yeah, except that's in spite of his defense. They lost 4 games that year because they scored over 33 points.
I think he's a better pure thrower of the ball than Lamar. I wouldn't say he's a better pure thrower of the ball than Josh Allen. I think he's a better pure thrower of the ball.
I think he's a better
Lamar.
pure thrower
May
of the
I
ball
ask
than
a
Josh
question?
Allen.
But well, hold on, because I was going to lead this into a question. Like, his injury history is so
But if
much
you can
more
say healthy Lamar Jackson,
it's so much more significant than Lamar's. He's hurt every single year. He misses like 8 games every single year.
Not every single year, every
Whoa.
other year. I'd try though.
I want to ask a question to both of you.
Sure.
And then you can
Super
get on
Bowl
with
was
your
5 years ago.
list. I'll ask a question.
When was
and-
Josh Allen Super Bowl?
He's got a league MVP, and how'd they he's sitting there with no rings. His trophy case is empty. He went early. That's great. He didn't win, and his trophy case has nothing in it.
Anyways, what were you going to ask, Lowetide? Sorry, we cut you off.
I would just like to ask both of you, and then you can continue with your list. Since there's so much derision about all of the other names, why do both of you not have Allen number 1? Because he appears to be the one guy that everybody agrees is healthy and is great.
This is a great question. I think playoff success does also factor into this.
Yeah, like I just think Lamar's better. Like I'm going
to disagree with you. Allen is the best quarterback.
I don't think Lamar is better. I think Josh Allen's better because I have Josh Allen 2 and Lamar 3.
I think you guys both overthought this. Both of you.
Well, okay, you can't sit here and act like
somebody has got to go sit in the corner because you both got it wrong.
You can't sit here and act like Lamar's a bad choice.
I didn't have him in the same tier.
2
as
league
Allen. I'm
MVP
not as
should
expert
have.
as you are. I think you're overthinking this, sir. I think
it's
you know what
very
you're doing?
close
You know
either
what you're
way. It's
doing?
not like there's a wrong answer.
You want to be so unbiased. You're now biased against Josh Allen.
No, you're like they are close. Can we agree with that? Like they are right there beside each other.
It's your list. I just think because of the Jackson uncertainty that Allen should be the number 1.
It's not like he misses a crazy amount of time. He's had like one tiny little stretch of injury.
But Josh is worried. So
personally, I think my top 3, you have them in any order. I think any order is the right order.
Okay, let's get to your top 3.
So, anyways, it's Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
You're so wrong
in
about
that
number
order.
1.
Whatever, man. Number 4, I have Matt Stafford. We're talking about the reigning league MVP. I mean, yeah, he's 40 and maybe has back problems, but man, he is still slinging it.
Still
all
looks
around.
good. Handsome yellow fella.
You know, great veneers, very shiny.
Yeah. Curb appeal.
Yeah. But like his numbers have only he's always been a good quarterback, and his numbers have seemingly only gotten better in LA, and that's because they are a very well-run team versus Detroit.
When he went to LA, did we all feel like, okay,
we're like, finally he's out of Detroit, something's going on here? But I mean, LA was what, 3 years removed from going to the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, I think. So like they still had Aaron Donald, so it was like, okay, well now they have some guy that can throw the ball that's elite. And then my number 5, I know he tore his ACL, and I know he's getting worse, but I don't think I could take anybody else over him. It's Patrick Mahomes. But
I was wondering if he would show up on
That's
this.
a legacy pick a little bit in 2026. Like he just has not been that good the last couple of years, and they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, he also tore his ACL last year, and then Gardner Minshew the very next week tore his ACL. Like it was brutal for the Chiefs, but like. I don't know. We can talk about the real no WR1 for the Chiefs. We can talk about a lot of things, but I still think
he can.
Hey, man, you got to take one player to win a game for you. I think you might still take Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think you would in 2026. I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like it feels wrong leaving him off a top 5, but like we have to stop pretending.
But he's
Patrick
not.
Mahomes from 2018 to 2022 is taking the field on Sundays. He's not.
But he's also not like in that caliber of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, I'm throwing Joe Burrow in there also.
Where do you come out on Justin Herbert and Jaden Daniels?
I think Justin Herbert is Joe Burrow without the playoff success, so he's got nothing.
What is Daniels the best young quarterback? The guy who's the next in line should he follow through and make that next step? Is he the guy?
I think so. I had him number 5. Granted, he was hurt as well. Didn't look as good as he did in his rookie season. Drake May would be another guy people consider.
I think you could also. I would say I need this year if they both stay healthy. I think it's between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams.
Okay,
Caleb's also in that combo. Yeah,
both of you are rat finks because you didn't put Hurts in there. But where would he rank about?
Well, let's just do it. So I had Lamar, I had Josh, I had Justin Herbert, although that seems crazy the more I say it. I had Joe Burrow, I had Jaden Daniels. Then you're looking at like a Mahomes, you're looking at a Drake May, you're looking at Stafford still, obviously. I think Dak and Jared Goff, both really underrated, although Jared Goff's getting a little older too. So now I'm already
I don't know
10.
about Dak, but
I think Dak
garbage
is
time
really,
quarterback.
really underrated. I would say Jalen Hurts is in the 11 to 15
Yeah,
range.
it's like right around that 12
So
spot.
if you're the Eagles, then and Howie's a smart guy. When do you decide to check down?
I think you're always looking into upgrading your quarterback position. Like Jalen Hurts is a unique case because like he's a guy that they legitimately can do the tush push with, even though granted that's more of an O-line thing than a quarterback thing. But his shoulder is bad. Like when he hurt his shoulder, like that really threw things off because he could throw the ball and it was more a question of decision making. Now he can't throw the ball that far and his decision making is still a question mark.
He also goes rogue too, which teams don't like. He'll just call his own plays. He'll just now, granted, Kevin Patullo, not the best OC in the world, but he'll just do his own thing. Like that doesn't always bode.
I'll give
well
him a
for
pass
team.
for that last year. They sucked.
That's fair. Yeah, Kevin Patullo did not do a great job.
A lot of pressure on Eagles though. If they start out, 1-3, do they have a plan B?
Who is their backup now? Because it's not Kenny Two Gloves. It's not Gardner. Like, do they have Mitch Trubisky or somebody? Like, I have no idea who's second on their depth chart.
You know who it is? Andy
Cooper
Dalton.
Oh, the Red Rifle.
Rocket, yeah. TCU legend.
Yeah.
He looks so fierce, man.
So he's not Bengals legend, Andy Dalton. He's not doing anything. Maybe, depending on how things go over in Minnesota, like if maybe they'll be like, we'll try it with Kyler or something. He's smaller and he can't run as well, but he's got an arm.
Do you think there's any possibility they feel like Hurts is, after his flag football experience, that he's like healthy again?
I think the flag football thing is damning, and they watch the tape and they went, we really need to get off this quarterback immediately.
And that they didn't. That's my point. So is it possible that he's healthy again?
Maybe. I just like, what's the saying in baseball, right? What is it? An arm's a season, a wrist's a season, whatever, and a shoulder's a career.
Yeah.
That's brutal. Like, and especially when you're the quarterback, you throw all the time, just like a pitcher, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, it is such a, that's why, like, I wondered all year, and Washington Nationals can't play defense. They just can't.
They really can't. Like, they are literally handing the Jays this game on a silver platter.
It's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
The Eagles are not the sort of team to just stand pat. And that's why I keep wondering what they're doing at quarterback. Because they've got reasonable receivers, right? But somebody's got to get on the ball.
Yeah. Well, I like Devontae Smith a lot, but yeah, they gotta get Devontae Smith the ball. A lot of Dallas Goedert. If you're a fantasy owner, believe in Dallas.
Dude, if you look at like Devontae Smith working out in camp, like he's so clean. If he was just a little bigger and stronger, and he's still very good as it is, but if he was
bigger and stronger, we'd be talking about him as one of the best wide receivers in the league. But I think because he's smaller and started his career as a WR2.
I also just I don't think he's as good as Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, but like if he's just a little stronger, a little thicker, like he's close to those conversations.
Will he have a better career than Deshaun Jackson did?
Like Deshaun Jackson's weirdly, like, he's kind of an icon. Now, a lot of that's because of what he did in the return game.
Right.
But he was good, don't get me wrong. But I think his career is a little over amplified because of like an icon status and some really big highlight plays.
Right.
I think Devontae has like a legitimate chance to just be a better wide receiver. Like he does way more as a wide receiver. Deshaun Jackson would run 9 routes and that was it. Devontae Smith is he's
good on like every part of the field.
Yeah.
What was that kid? Did he have the one-handed batted catch a few years ago that was like, I don't know, it was like 70 yards or something like that? This was before shoulder injury. He like batted it and was falling and caught it anyways for a touchdown.
Doesn't bring it's. I feel like you're right.
Yeah, he had that. It was like on the left side of the field.
I can't picture it, but you sound like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so I'll say yes.
He does, but then sometimes.
But sometimes I could be confidently wrong right now.
How many microphones have you broken since you arrived at the radio station?
Well, I don't know if I broke that one.
Yeah, you did.
But so far only one. Are we able to try again with that microphone deck?
Let's. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna.
Connor's right there. We let him
give it a rip.
His
Connor.
5.
Yeah, not even a little bit.
Not even a touch.
Yeah.
When that first happened, I was like, I'm going deaf. I'm even more deaf than I was. All right. On the way, Declinations. It's Declan CAA, the first edition. We're moving on. And it's straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters. It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
Edmonton, the legend has been reimagined. Check out the all-new 2026 Subaru Outback. With Subaru's legendary symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, impressive cargo versatility, advanced safety technology, and an IIHS top safety pick award or higher for 17 consecutive years, the Outback delivers confidence wherever adventure takes you. Whether it's the daily drive, the mountain getaway, or anything in between, the all-new Outback is built for the journey. Test drive it today at your local Subaru dealer. Welcome to Uncommon.
Greetings, loved ones. Let's take a journey.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit sports encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Connor did prep. He did his top 5 NFL quarterbacks. And on this show, anybody who does prep, we never let that go because there's so little that's done. So, Connor, can you give us your top 5 quarterbacks for the NFL?
So at 1, I had Josh Allen.
Right, which, thank you.
Yeah. I think I love a good pocket passer, and Josh Allen has the best arm in the league.
I think he's going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I don't know if I like the Bills roster enough, but I think he could win another MVP.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I just have a feeling they're going to run it back and they're going to win it this time. No fumbles.
At 2, I have Matt Stafford. Yeah. I think just how good that Rams receiver room is and just how well built they are. I think he's going to be just kind of a product of his place.
After Allen, it's almost like everybody's got a question mark, and Stafford's 100 years old, but he just proved that he could do it.
Yeah, he's coming off an MVP.
Yeah.
3, I have Lamar Jackson. Again, like Lamar's probably the second best in talent. I just don't think he has the group around him to be up there.
It's going to be disappointing if he never wins because he is a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm. At 4, a little bit of a shocker. I have Drake May.
Oh,
I think he takes a big leap from an already almost MVP year last year.
Fenwick's laughing at you.
I love Drake May.
And number 5.
Number 5, just based off pure talent, I think it's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. And that's, his number one. Okay. Thank you for doing that. And I apologize for not, I don't think we had you mic'd up anyway. So it all
No, I didn't have a mic over there.
All right. It is time for Declinations, brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. Next game Saturday. Get your tickets. GoElks.com/tickets. Now, with Declinations, Declan CAA, it's Declan Krueger.
Yeah, wanted to take a look. First of all, just to put a bow on this, like the pushback you get, like Lamar and Josh are not that far apart that having Lamar ahead of him is that crazy. You would have to admit that.
No.
You think Josh Allen's that much better than Lamar?
Look, you guys made your case, and neither of you took the obvious option, and young Connor did. Everybody else has some. Stafford's great, but there's a question mark in his age. Jackson's great, but roster hasn't done it yet. Allen hasn't done it yet, but they can run it back and win. I like Josh Allen. He doesn't have big question marks in terms of health. He's at the top of his game. Allen's the guy.
I appreciate it, but I'm just saying, like, and we'll wrap up.
I think you're too fair. Honest to God, when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, you're just like Travis Yost at TSN. Whenever I talk about Yost, he is so unbiased on everything but the Bills, and the Bills is his blind spot. And when they win, you're going to be so happy. But I would bet on the Buffalo Bills and Allen all day.
All right. College football. We are getting near, I think it's only 5 Saturdays away. I wanted to take a look at some of the teams that exist kind of in my top tier. I think when you're looking at those teams that you realistically think like, yes, these teams can compete for a national title this year as of right now, I think you're looking at Texas first. I think Arch Manning had a great second half of the season that he didn't really get credit for because of what he did in the first half of the season. I think Steve Sarkisian is a really good coach, become an underrated coach. And I think they also kind of exist in a bubble where it's like we have to, like, this is Texas football. We have to get to that level, and they play Ohio State to open the season, which is going to be a really, really tough game. They play it at home. It's going to tell us a lot about both teams. I don't think a loss in that game to either team is going to kill them when it comes time to make the playoffs. But I think Texas, as it stands right now, and I think when the AP poll comes out, they'll be the number one team. They sit at the top of that top tier. I think Oregon and Ohio State are both in there as well. Ohio State has just really become like the constant of college football, along with, Georgia. But as we see teams like Michigan kind of have some ebbs and flows, we see Alabama drop from what they had been. We see other conferences maybe a little bit more shaky. It seems like we can always kind of hitch our wagon to Ohio State and Georgia, and more so Ohio State lately. Oregon, like I said, I think they are just the team that exists like as close as it gets without having gotten there on probably in the history of college football. But you look at the last 2 years, they have 3 total losses in the last 3 years. All 3 losses were to the eventual national champion. They lost to Ohio State in 2024, who they actually went 1-1 with that season. They lost to Indiana twice last year, and they have just been right on the precipice without making it happen. I really think this could be their year. They have an entire returning front seven. How about that? That's pretty rare in college football these days. And they have Dante Moore coming back, so they're in there as well. I think the last team that exists in that top tier is Notre Dame. Notre Dame's win total this year.
Nice news.
CJ Carr, really believe in him. I know they lost Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Did you make it?
No, and there was some left, and I spilled it everywhere.
Oh,
so
I think Josh is heading to clean it up.
Just
for anyone who's wondering what that was,
move.
Lowetide tried to Kobe his coffee cup
Just
into the garbage
worst.
can.
And just like dumb. I'm an adult. I know better.
I think CJ Carr is a great quarterback. Their schedule, like did I mention this or was I interrupted? Like they're over under on the win total. I know I was getting around to it. I think it's like 11.5. And you play 12 games in a college football regular season. Yeah. So for their over-under to be set at 11.5 is crazy. They have one kind of tough game, we'll say, against BYU. But other than that, I think they're going to fly through their schedule.
But
I
they
think
always do weird stuff, don't they? Like, if they lose, who's it going to be to?
Well, they lost last year to Texas A&M and Miami, which is, obviously 2 very good teams. Those were 2 playoff teams last year. I think they could end up with 1 loss this year, but I think at 11-1, they're safely in. And I really just do think the defensive identity they have, what Marcus Freeman does defensively, I think they're in that top tier. Okay. When I'm looking at the second tier of teams, I'm looking at teams like Indiana. Still, Josh Hoover comes in from TCU. ran a lot of RPO last year with TCO, and Indiana loves to run the RPO. I think he's not going to be Fernando Mendoza, but I think he's going to be a good replacement. And we know how good of a coach Kurt Signetti is. They lost a lot, so I think it'll be a regression, but that's obvious. They went undefeated and won the national title. Don't expect that from them this year, but I do think they're firmly in that second tier. I think Miami is going to be there as well. I think Miami exists in that second tier, and I think Georgia probably exists in that second tier.
Okay, I like it. Now, how many can you list off the names now? Like all the teams in the first two tiers?
Yeah, so I have in the top tier, I have Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
That's really good.
In the second tier, I have Georgia, Miami, and Indiana.
I like your list. The Miami one is interesting to me just because of the lore of Miami. Like, I know it's
and like the quarterback they brought in the transfer portal, this kid Darian Mensah, is his third school in 3 years. But like, he's a really good quarterback. Make no mistake. And Carson Beck, I think Carson Beck kind of had a downward trajectory as his career went on, and I think even still he was good in Miami. But I think Darian Mensah is going to be better. That's what I'm working around to say.
All right, so that's loaded. All the like really cool names are there, right? So is there a third tier?
Yeah, well, I'll just kind of round out the top 10 if we will, because I think in there we're looking at Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and LSU with Lane Kiffin and Sam Leavitt. And then I think Alabama, Texas Tech, and BYU. Those are the three who sit on the outside of that top 10 looking at.
So the American South is there, right? Like,
yeah, it's like I hate to be an SEC shill, word to Josh Pate, but they are the deepest conference. Now, I wouldn't expect them to win the national title this year, which would be the fourth year in a row they haven't won it. I would expect some teams who they try to lie to us and tell us they're good, like Missouri and Tennessee, to have some bad records and not beat teams above 500. And they're still going to tell us, well, they're good because they play in the SEC. And that's not going to be the case. I think the Big Ten is now the preeminent conference of college football, but the SEC is still the deepest. I will give it that credit. So when I'm doing a top 10 like this and I'm looking at recruiting class, rosters, strength of schedule, stuff like that, I'm looking towards the SEC, even if I don't think they're the best conference anymore.
Yep. And how will that impact the SEC? Because Notre Dame pouted and sulked and they got their way.
Well, the SEC does a lot of that as well. And they've actually talked about succeeding from the NCAA. Big succession is big in the South, apparently. Like, they just love to break away and do their own thing. I don't know if it'll come to pass that quickly, but I do think, like, if the SEC, because they're like the Maple Leafs or the Yankees, you know what I mean? Like, they're like the big,
I get it.
Yeah. If they continue to feel in their minds like they're getting shilled and not getting deserved playoff spots, I feel like there could be a time in the next like 5 to 7 years where they actually do break away. And that, like, I don't even know how I'll approach college football if that happens.
It feels like it's been splintering forever. It's like watching,
it's really just like the NIL era when everyone was able to legally pay players instead of the SEC doing it under the table. Everyone caught up, and the SEC was like, "Oh, this actually sucks." Now that there's an even playing field,
yeah.
And now that they can't win natties every year because they're not paying Cam Newton and Tim Tebow under the table, and the playing field is leveled, they don't get their way and they cry about it. So.
Yeah. It's less than ideal, and it's because there's so much money involved, and there's corruption squared, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
I love when you do this stuff. Honestly, I cannot devote, like, I watch a lot of sports, so I can't devote time like I used to when I was your age to the NCAA football. But like I loved it when Notre Dame and Nebraska, and
those games Notre Dame used to have with USC.
Oh yeah. Right. Like, so good, right? And Archie Griffin and like. College football is an absolute blast. The problem is there's 300 teams, and you're watching a game and it's like Bowling Green, and you're like, I haven't seen them since the 60s, and then teams go away like Nebraska. They were on all the time and now they're not, so it's hard to keep track.
Next week I'm going to do like a hot seat ranking, and Nebraska and Matt Rule will be on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Little tease.
I really appreciate you doing that. It's an area that I get informed about from you. So one of the things I'm going to do in the first few weeks, I'm going to ask you about quarterbacks. I read a thing on the QBs, the new ones coming in, and what might be expected. And I just, I'm going to pick your brain a little bit about that.
Well, I appreciate that greatly. When the whimsy from my life is gone, the whimsy for college football will still remain.
I picture you like when I'm in an old folks home, I'll be irritating everybody around me with stories about Van Morrison and the Montreal Expos. When you are in the old folks home, and this is many years from now, I think they'll just put you in a room and you'll just talk to nobody because it'll be about college football. And in this part of the world, there's like 11 people who would know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Josh, when he's in the old folks home, it'll just be about, Fight Club and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Probably the Angels too.
Oh yeah, well,
I'd
you'll be
still
mad
be
at them.
complaining about how they wasted Mike Trout's entire career.
Which is, I saw them the other night, and they're just shameful. They're not as bad as the Nationals in the field, but they're just a shameful team.
Donovan's one of his topics for in or out today was the Angels are going to go nuclear at the trade deadline, and I was in. I don't think they're going to trade Mike Trout. I don't think he's going to waive. But we went through the whole lineup, and I was like, yeah, they'll probably trade Detmers. They'll probably trade Soriano. I bet you Neto's gone. I bet you they'll find someone for Joe Adell. I wouldn't be surprised if
is Solar still on that team?
I wouldn't be surprised if Soler went.
He went to Atlanta the year they won, and he did all kinds of things. I believe that's correct.
I know I had him in fantasy that year.
No.
It's great. Oh, well.
Connor, we don't know what you'll be talking about. That's a long way away.
He'll be talking about the 2024 Cup run.
I'm going to tell you this now, and this is between you and me. But as time goes on and the Oilers don't win the Stanley Cup, if that happens, the 2024 Stanley Cup run will become more important because guess what? It's this generation's 2006. If they win, then it's reset. But that 2024 run, there's a lot of angst and a lot of sadness about that, and it'll only get larger as time goes on. Now, I hear music, and I could ignore it, but Declan is a good man. I want to thank Josh for cleaning up my mess. I owe you. That was very poor form by me, and I appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Jason Krueger is on the way next. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. For next move in the Edmonton or area, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Scores from around the Majors finals today. Marlins over the Phillies 8-6. Diamondbacks over the Pirates 3-0. And the Mets over the Braves 3-2 in game one of their doubleheader. Currently, Blue Jays lead the Nats 5-2 at the end of the 8th. Orioles and Tigers tied 7-7 in extras, top of the 10th. And the Brewers and Giants still scoreless in the bottom of the first. Brewers with one hit. Next up, Rockies and Padres at 2:10, and the late game will see the Mariners and Dodgers at 8:10. Declan Celebrini signing a record-breaking 5-year, $94 million extension, $18.8 million AAV. And the Edmonton Riverhawks in action out in Kamloops, 7:35 first pitch for that one. Up next is the Jason Krueger Show with guest host Connor Halley. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports